So it starts with the 10th pick in the NFL draft, and it's Jedrick Wills. The Browns don't trade down, don't trade up. They sit right there at 10, and I think they luck into getting who they allege it was the top prospect on their board. This is the guy that Joe Thomas liked the most, which is always exciting. And we talked about this a little last week. It worked out in their favor because 3 quarterbacks were taken in the top 9 picks before the Browns were up. And on top of that, the Giants took Andrew Thomas, which surprised everybody because he was not considered the best tackle in this draft, a guy that we thought would fall to us at 10. So they go Andrew Thomas, and no other tackles go off the board coming up to us. I know there were some people saying crazy shit like, oh, all 4 tackles could be gone before the Browns even pick. We could see a historic run on tackles and stuff like that, which, I thought was a little bold, but that's not what happens. And we get arguably the best tackle in the draft at number 10.
Yeah, he was the top tackle in a lot of boards out there. He comes in as Pro Football Focus 3rd best tackle in the draft and 11th player overall on their big draft board. I would say he has explosion, agility. He obviously played on the right side, but like you mentioned in our last episode, that was the blind side for Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so he comes in, and I think he's going to be ready to make the swift move to left tackle. Joe Thomas believes he's the most NFL-ready tackle from the 2020 draft, and he spoke of having no doubt that Wills can make the switch. He compared his raw skills to Mitchell Schwartz, who struggled a little bit early in his career, but was able to make the switch from left to right and hasn't missed a snap, both playing with the Browns and Kansas City Chiefs, and is like one of the best right tackles in the league. So
Super Bowl champion.
And a Super Bowl
good
champion.
For him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Deservedly so. He's a great guy.
Yeah, so I feel good about the pick. He's already been working on switching to the left side. I think he just turned 21. So it's not a matter of he's been playing right tackle forever. It's going to be impossible to make this transition. It's something he's already been working on, something he's cognizant of. And I think he'll be able to transition just fine. And Joe Thomas has already reached out to him and said he wants to help him in any way he can, because Joe Thomas is the man. So he'll have that working for him. And he's a great athlete. And what I like about him a lot, and after we drafted him, I watched some film, watch some videos of him, and he's violent. That's what I like about him the most. He has the natural athleticism. I mean, his technique is pretty good. It'll get better. He is really young, but he is violent. He loves contact. He loves running. He's amazing in the run game. I think he's definitely better against the run than he is with the pass game, but I think he'll get better with the pass game. And apparently, according to Tua Tagovailoa, he's the alpha male of that offense. I was going to bring that up. So he's the alpha. He's extremely violent. He loves contact. And he's great in the run game. And I got excited thinking about our running game because we brought in Jack Conklin, who's a solid pass protector, but he's really especially great in the run game as well. So now all of a sudden we have 2 bookend tackles that are extremely physical and thrive in the run game, which is convenient when you have Nick Chubb, you have Kareem Hunt, you have 3 good tight ends now, we'll get to one of them later, and a head coach that builds his entire offense around running the ball and play action. So it almost looks like everyone, and we'll get into this more, we're drafting players that are not only really good players, but that actually fit our scheme. Like we have some kind of plan.
Wow. Cohesion? That's the word, right?
Everyone's on the same page?
It's crazy, yeah. So, like you mentioned, he's great against the run. He had a 90.5 run blocking grade from Pro Football Focus for his 2019 season. So, yeah, definitely strengthening the run game. And we already had one of the best in the league with a very inconsistent offensive line. So it's going to be good to get some consistency in there, kind of have the opposite, and have that strength to lead the running game and open up some holes for our running backs. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about the pick. I'd call it a home run. I know it's not exciting because it's a tackle.
Let's grade the individual pick as well, so we know our overall grade. And then for our first round pick, I'm going to give this an A++.
Yeah, I'll give it the A+ because I mean at that point it's kind of the no-brainer. I mean, if you look at the board, the guy that we really liked and wanted was Isaiah Simmons. He went to number 8 at the Cardinals. And at that point, you're deciding between Willis, Mekhi Becton, and Tristan Wirfs as far as tackle goes. And I like Tristan Wirfs a little more, personally, but I think it's it's so negligible. I mean, I'm stoked to have Jedrick Wills, and again, after watching a lot of video on him, I was getting really fired up watching.
Sure. So. The reason why I really like Jedrick Wills is because I think out of all, like a lot of pundits were putting out there, he is the most NFL ready. I think he's the most well-rounded. His biggest question mark, the biggest quote-unquote question mark that we're going to have with him is that switch from right to left. Besides that, there's not like, oh, he does this one thing wrong. He's not bad against the run, but great against Pat. Like, no, it's just the switch. That's the only thing we have to worry about. And that is negligible at this point. Is switching from right to left is not like it used to be. It barely matters now.
Especially because we're mostly going to be running. So
Sure.
The easiest transition from right to left is run blocking. It's the pass blocking that's hard because you have to get like that. Like what made Joe Thomas so great was he had that big first step where he would pop back super fast. Oh
Sure.
man, I miss Joe Thomas. But I'm very excited to have Wills finally shore up that blind side. If Wills pans out, all of a sudden we have
An explosive 25-point per game offense.
maybe the best offensive line in the NFL. I mean,
Sure.
if he pans out, we already have 3 guys that are proven. I mean, Bitonio, Treader, and Conklin are all top 5 at their position.
Sure.
Like, that's not debatable. That's what it is. If Wills can be even a top 10 left tackle, then we have the best offensive line in football, straight up.
On paper. That's always important to say.